Often just does get through lane quite nicely. Effort going to lock away the Rakan as the final pickup here. And I look at these two drafts, I look at these two teams, and at the very beginning, I would have thought, absolutely, Fearx come in with an edge. And we've seen just how devastating having rocks on the floor can be for this gentleman. Let's jump onto the Rift for game number 1. It is super Monster Hunter-esque.
Yeah, it definitely has some MH vibes. The Taliyah pick, because the rocks on the ground, is also going to struggle into Nautilus in team fights.
All right, there's a bit of an engage here as Envy just jumps over the wall. Execute is going to be lit on fire and otherwise is just not going to care about what's going on here, as we can see.
Yeah, not too concerned.
As Henner is going to find a little bit of a snare onto the new jungler who dives on forward. Effort looks for the grand entrance and gets a flash for it. Very nicely done here by Bro, and some proactive play. You'll love to see it. Yeah. As they trade pretty evenly at this point in time. Swifty's there for clear, just to make sure that Huni is as annoyed as possible. He is on the space today.
Yeah, you know you have full control. Doive does not have control meanwhile.
No, he does not. Sonic Wave going to miss, and it looks like Willa wants to even out the bub count between these two squads. 3 apiece. Not going to have Void Mites. A little bit of a shame, but that is all right. As one of them is going to reset. A little bit of extra damage is going to be missing from the Bubs. Execute can just kind of face check all sorts of things if they do not have vision, and that is very important because they do not have vision. That is absolutely true. He's going to get engaged on as there's the Dawning Shadow, has to flash to get himself out. That's a big ulti from Willa, but it's the Zeri that locks down the first kill in the fight, and then Willa is just going to execute them. Flash out from Effort, that gets him to safety, and Envy did get that 1 kill, but they trade down, and it looks like the Dragon will belong to the Xin Zhao, as Execute is moving in, so never mind. We're looking for another 5v5, slow down onto Effort, as in goes Willa. They look for the Rakan and throw him backwards, but he's able to battle dance his way through, not able to get the rocks down in time, I don't think. Was Closer as Morgan trying to tank this one up, but he's taking a lot of damage here for free. And there is the hook that's going to connect. Reaver's Wall going to separate Envy as he's fighting clear on the top side of this fight. Mega Gnar comes in and he flashes out of the wallop, but still Closer is going to go down and Execute, and the rest of Fearx are going to run away.
Yeah, that was not the greatest setup there for Closer. He ends up getting a big shove, but there's no follow-up damage. It's still early game here for this Senna. And now health bars are low and they still want to contest.
There's only 3 of them. Clear does have teleport to try and get back into this fight, but this Herald is going down exceptionally low. That is going to be the secure for Doive. And this game is pretty slow.
It is slow, and it is also like a lot of almost action.
Yeah, that's a nice little flick back onto Effort. Does take 50% of his health bar, and that's a nice shockwave in response as well as Karis. Now just going to get flashed on. Look at that. No hesitation here from Execute, as Dawning Shadow not going to do nearly enough damage to lock down that kill. As Doive, let's see who's going to start piloting it. Is it going to be Envy? Is he just going to dive in? That's a nice little flick onto Morgan as he's the one driving. All right, there we go. Where are we going? They're just going to kill it and he's just going to get out. As not going to be CC'd up from the hook, and starting a fight is probably not going to be their favorite thing.
Clear is pushing Inner as well, and he has teleport.
Well, Hook is going to connect here from Execute as they chain the CC onto Karis. He gets a big old shield though, and now Effort diving into that backline, but not a massive amount of value as, oh no, Envy just gets hopped on here as immediately he's over the wall once again. Not much of an R-bar, but Clear doesn't need it. He's an AD carry as well, I guess. And that is going to be a beautiful connection, and the wind becomes lightning from Willa. He takes down Envy, and that is going to be the end of this fight for Bro. Fearx, they just demolished them.
Orianna, because they kept putting the ball in really nice spots. Like, okay, there's a choke point here, they can't approach. No, I put it in another choke point, but he never pressed R on it.
Oh,
he did here.
Goes entirely wide, and Clear just going to celebrate with a little bit of hopscotch.
So watch this moment again with Clear.
Just going to find the Orianna.
Yeah. And by the way, like, no Mega Gnar until the end. Not even required here.
Their minion waves for a bit of aggression on the Baron. And there's Doive getting caught out of position. It's about as elementary as that, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? As Doive goes down, that's the jungler. That is going to mean Baron. Dawning Shadow also means Effort is going to go down as well. And Karis just walks this one off.
I mean, he's just struggling. He's got good wave clear, but meanwhile on the top side.
Yeah, there's a massive engage from Execute. Finds 3 with the knock-up. Effort cannot do anything about this, and Henner is just raining down these auto attacks. Another inhibitor will go down, and I think this is just going to be the game. And I think a lot of people are going to say that this one was boring, but man, was it clean.
It was clean.
Like, the amount of, like, ticking of boxes that FearX did, they did exactly what you're supposed to do in a late game. It was beautifully done.
It really was, and we didn't get to say that about FearX all too much this season, but team fights, definitely not the cleanest, but the macro, that was good in this game, and a lot of it was clear, setting up these waves. Willer?
Right, that's a nice little kickback. It's going to mean not a whole lot as Doiv does go down, but he does demonstrate that he can do that if he needs to. There's a flash forward from Clear. He finds Envy, pushes him into his own Nexus as he's on the fountain now, trying to keep himself alive. The flick is good onto Morgan. A teleport in the middle of the battle for Execute. That sort of tells the tale.
Don't do it, actually. I do not want to see that.
Oh,
it would have been fun, but I don't know. If Delight can't pull it off, then I don't know if you're pulling it off in this case, Execute.
The support player for FearX. That's all right. Let's jump onto the Rift here for game number 2.
But at least he realized in the initial part, not when he got to lane, because we have seen it in international tournaments even sometimes.
We have actually seen
forgetting to buy items.
It is a real thing. And it's not just for those of us who, you know, be right back in a loading screen. Rusty, you have to say, is Doiv. All right, let's see whether they can do anything meaningful here to Clear. Good stun is going to come forward, and Clear is just looking for a solo. It's not going to happen. Morgan still had to flash, but that is going to be first blood going over to the Jax jungle. High value here for Bro, and Doiv in a good position to start carrying.
Whenever you get a Jax ahead this early, it can really warp how the early game goes, and this is going to be just a little bit of a poke here. Effort going to chunk Execute down. The top in... Okay, I'll closer.
Yeah, he's going to get shockwaved right on the edge there. Poolbay going aggressive.
He does not have teleport advantage, Poolbay, so that was an interesting choice. Let's see what they can make of it. Raptors.
Yeah, like that.
Tempo ult for Raptors. That's how you, as a mid laner, help out your jungler. Sometimes the jungler helps out the mid laner, but not in this case.
Willer is going to spot that his Raptors were taken away. Very sad stuff here. And he's actually going to wrap around. Look for a little bit of an ulti here. Does manage to find it as closer. Gets the flick back onto Poolbay. Willer happily tanks up about 4 turret shots and is able to take down the Orianna. Great punishment there.
Yeah, down here, maybe something?
Yeah, Effort just going to get headbutted. And FearX just wanting to clear out the vision where they can. Crash down from Effort isn't exactly fantastic as he gets knocked up. Magnet Storm comes on through, and they are just going to kill the Rel. There he goes. Now there's a stun onto Envy as Execute with the Unbreakable Will is just very, very tanky. Doiv not able to get here in time, and that is just a freebie.
Right. Yeah, she's still really strong at early skirmishes when she has her ultimate and 2v2s, 3v3s.
There's a cease and desist. In comes Closer as well as Effort just can't get on over. It's a decent shockwave, but I think Poolbay is still going to be dead. Closer locks down that kill as now Doiv. He's the one that's going to take his turn to die, and Henna is going to lock that kill up. I think this game is heading towards certification, Wolf, and it's a bit of a worry for FearX in a lot of their games. Is now he's going to find the mid laner here for Bro, and Willer is so incredibly strong. Sundered Sky already completed, and Poolbay, he's running the wrong direction. Seismic Shove is going to miss, and Poolbay doing the walk strategy very, very well. Still, Vault Breaker is going to come through. And
he's flanking them!
He is definitely flanking them. And the minions! Minions going to be taken down here as Poolbay will tank up the turret, and there is a last Vault Breaker. Home goes Willer now, and he'll spend all of that money that he just made.
I don't think Willer spent... Okay, hold on. Doiv?
Yeah, goes in, does find a counter-strike, as now Henna has ulted as well. Still, Execute with the Unbreakable Will is trying to tank up, but it's just not going to be enough to deal with. The 3 of them raining hell down upon him, and Henna not able to dissuade them from killing his cow. And that should be this outer turret on the bottom side of the map taken down.
Both of these games, FearX have just gotten an advantage and just run it all over the map. And I mean that in a good way. They've just basically taken all of these critical positions. They've then put deep vision around this turret so they can set up for this play. Very good stuff as Envy versus Henna, but around the inner turret here. And that is a very aggressive teleport. Clearly just going to come on over, and he does now have his Sunfire Cape completed. This will be a large influx of money. And there it is. And a turret taken down now. Effort looking for an opportunity, but he's headbutted away. And I think Execute might have a little bit of trouble here. Is still going to be able to flash to get to relative safety. And Clear is a huge brick wall to stand in front of Bro. Ulti here from Henna, who's looking to try and turn it. Has to respect the orb as they are standing on it for the moment.
Envy still looking for an opportunity, and it is a dive comp wolf, but they're not using it like one. They're playing it like a front-to-back composition, and that's not really what you want to see. Fulbe coming back, does have his flash and shockwave available. His effort taking a lot of damage. Cease and Desist actually invested onto him as he just goes up into the sky. It's a fantastic shockwave. Can they find more, though, is the question, as Morgan diving on in. It's a double kill for Envy, but that is still the Vi locking down the Crocodile. And Clear is still up and available alongside Henna, who does do a fair bit of work still.
It is a very nice day outside. In fact, very few clouds, so I guess they're just all on the Rift. As a contest?
Not able to actually lock anything down here as Clear sets up the circle as he is wont to do. That's a big shutdown as the Vi goes down, and now Doive, he's looking for even more. Henna trying to throw these burst fires out, and Clear is the one that does it. He stood there, and the circle took him down. Composition to dive into the Baron pit, because that's what they're going to need to do, is headbutt out for Doive, as now in they go. Good shockwave is going to connect as Closer just flashing into the back of this pit. It is a catastrophe as Doive locks down the Baron. And now, FearX, can you actually punish them for stealing your stuff? As Effort able to limp his way out. Fantastic flash over from Morgan to execute that kill. And now Henna left in the pit, out to dry. And Morgan's gonna chop him up. FearX, that was a throw. As we're going back, says
FearX are super slow to respond to this. They only send Clear back, and Closer was already there, but like,
yeah,
you're gonna lose an inhibitor, and then you're probably still not gonna be able to secure this dragon. We were really praising the macro of FearX in game 1 and the advantages they pushed in game 2, but...
And there's another one. He is being sought, well and truly.
We don't see Kaisa all too often, but if you, for those who don't know, once you have the empowered W, which you can get from finishing Nashor's Tooth, if you hit people, it gives you a cooldown reduction. So every time Envy hits one of those, it's very frustrating for FearX to know another one's coming. Envy?
Well, in goes Willa. Is going to have his ulti popped, though, and they dive on top of Henna. Not able to finish him off, though, as you can see now Closer finally making his way into the fight, but Willa is already dead. Fulbe taken down exceptionally low, but Henna is dead. The red buff is going to lock that one down. Killer Instinct from Envy, and he knows that this fight is pretty much done. It's a great flick, though, as Closer, still a fair bit of damage on him, threads the volleys through. How did Fox actually make that one work?
Insane. There's just not enough long-term damage in this composition here for Bro. Hey, it's really tough for Willer to get into this pit. He does not have flash.
Yeah, Effort probably going to be spotted here on this flank angle. The Baron goes down very, very low. They're not wanting to flip it. And Clear going to get in here and push Effort away. He wants to find that angle, but it's going to be so difficult. And now the charge up is going to come through. Not sure about the Crocodile as the main target, who does press that Dominus button, and he's still going to go down, so never you mind. If you all have the same idea, it is just going to work out. It's a double kill for Closer. Killer Instinct into the backline for Envy, though, and he's now going to have to try and fight it, but that seismic shove he was so scared of is going to kill him in the end. And FearX, yeah, they had a bit of a hiccup, but, you know, they just they win the glass of water and everything was fine.
I guess they win in the end, as, yeah, Willer maybe don't engage on the Crocodile, but he didn't really have any other option there. He wanted to get his way out, and it bought enough space for the Zeri. Henna ends up having a massive ultimate there and coming through, and Closer, big improvement this game around on the Talia in terms of what sort of impact he can make in team fights. Actually doing a ton of damage in the last one, and this time that final shove does Envy in. And they're going to push to end. No Baron, but they think they have the damage, and with only Effort here, I think they are correct in that assumption.
They absolutely are. They're just ignoring Effort entirely. Some casual pulverizers, some headbutts as well. It's pacifist mode, as now they're going to look to focus down this Nexus. They should be able to do so, as Closer is going to be on in there. That's a double kill. Make it a triple for Morgan as the Lord grabs a few on his way out, but that is going to be exactly that, his way out.
Thank you very much. This is here for the end of the season interview translation, joined by the players of FearX. Please welcome Clear, Willer, Closer, Henna, and Execute. First off, Clear. With the last match of the season, what kind of mindset did you come to the stage with? There were opportunities to climb even farther that we unfortunately lost, but the mindset that I came with today was that we would like to finish off strong. So this was actually the first time you played all matches as a starter this spring. So what's something that you learned? I feel like maintaining this position was very difficult. It was a hard fight. There are a lot of moments that I definitely grew from, so it was a great opportunity. So you were the second, you were the top lane with the second most solo kills. So what's something that you want to work on instead of relying on luck, I want to get even further ahead and stay on the top of the ladder with pure skill. And Willer, we had such a good comp in game 1, and your Xin Zhao was unstoppable. So you got the POG for the last game. How does it feel? I was able to finish off the season with a POG, which makes me happy. There are a lot of moments that I regret when I look back at the season. Of course, the guest winner of Who Are You? You were so clean with your performance today. So, as the team captain with a new roster who has to build synergy, what's something that you wanted to work on? I feel like trying to figure out what the players' play styles are and what their own temperaments are. That's just something that I try to focus on the most. And we have an exciting news. It looks like you will be a part of Loli Night with Closer. Honestly, we're not very eloquent when it comes to talking, but we'll make sure that it's as fun as it can be. Clear? Are you confident with the content you guys are going to be part of? No, not really, but I'll try my best. And Closer, this is your third year at VRX, and unfortunately you didn't make it to the playoffs. So how was this season for you? I think, yeah, my biggest regret is that we didn't make it to the playoffs. We'll make sure that we put in a lot of effort into making the summer season a lot better. And for game 2, or for the last match of the season, we were wondering if we would get a Irelia game. But you ended up playing Talia both games. Were you satisfied with today's play? Yeah, so it was very aggressive in terms of play. And I was wondering, yeah, maybe I should play Irelia, but I think we did really well with Talia. And what can we look forward to from VRX in the summer? I feel like every individual player has really high ceilings. So I think we'd have to fix some of the mistakes and supplement some of the lacking aspects that we have as individual players during the time that we have between now and summer. And Hannah, this was your first regular season in VRX's uniform. What was the goal of this season, and did you accomplish it? My goal this season was to make it to the playoffs and play better, but I unfortunately didn't accomplish that goal. And I'd love it if the fans can look forward to my summer season. And Hannah, you had so many great moments in spring, but you never received POG, which might be pretty disappointing. I feel like, yeah, I just didn't go that extra mile to be a good player to receive POGs, but I hope that I can do better in the next season. And for the future, what kind of AD carry do you aspire to be? My teammates are very aggressive, and I want to complement that and be more proactive and bolder. I want to be the AD carry who pulls a lot of damage for the team and execute. After playing for the LEC, this is the first season for you in the LCK. What are some takeaways from this season? I think one thing is that I grew a lot from the laning phase. Your synergy with Hannah must have been really good. Yeah, at first it wasn't very good, but over time we grew synergy. And I think we were very confident regardless of the matchup that we were facing. So Execute, you are all about flashy engages. So what's the most memorable play this stream? Against DRX, there was a moment that I landed a 5-man, and that's the most memorable thing. And I look back, and Closer actually gave me a shout out about that. Yeah, I was so shocked. It's my first time seeing a 5-man ult, so that's why. And what kind of support would you like to be? I want to have a clear strength and not have any flaws as a support. And lastly, as the team captain, Willer, what would you like to say to your fans? For everyone who came to site today, and including all the people who are watching us outside of site, but I want to say that I'm very thankful and grateful for all of your support, and I want to make sure that we become a strong team all together. Please give it up for FearX. Thank you so much for the interview. And next up, we'll have the players of OK Savings Bank Brion join us for the interview. Please welcome Morgan, Gideon, Dove, Karis, Polbe, Envy, Effort, and Polu. So it looks like we have 8 players that are filling up the stage today. The fan sign says, Brion, you worked hard. Now we're ready for the interview.
이번에는 OK저축은행 브리온 선수분들과 스프링 시즌을 마무리하면서 인터뷰해 보도록 하겠습니다.
We'll have the end of season's spring season interview with OK Savings Bank Brion. First of all, Morgan, you were the defender of Brion's top lane. How does it feel to finish the spring season? I feel like time flies. The spring season has already come to an end, and we had such a long losing streak, and we were able to continue with a good momentum from picking ourselves up, but I'm really disappointed that we weren't able to accomplish that. And now you've played with Brion for 3 years. Is there anything that you would like to say to your fans? It's been 3 years with Brion, and this was my first time being a team captain. I feel like I wonder if I was a good team captain to my teammates. So, do you guys think that he was a good team captain? It looks like they all agree, and they think that you are a great team captain. And Gideon, this is your first season after joining OK Savings Bank Brion. What's something that was most memorable of this season? For our first win against Kwangdong Freaks, I think that's the moment that I remember the most. I was seeing our fans go wild. What's your goal for summer then? There's so many parts that we need to work on, and we want to make sure that we improve on those aspects and make sure that we display a better performance in the future. And Dove, you debuted in the LCK this spring, and you played as a starter for the last match. Was there any nerves today? No, I was not nervous today. I was just trying to finish strong today. So what are your goals and resolutions for summer? My goal is to become better and to become good enough to play in the LCK.
팀의 어엿한 중심이 된 카리스 선수인데요.
And Karis, you are the heart of the team. What's your overall evaluation of the spring season? Yeah, it was a tough time going on a long losing streak, and we wanted to go build a momentum from that to win streak, but we weren't able to, which is something that I'm disappointed of. But I believe that we were able to display an even better performance for the summer, so I want them to look forward to that. And what's something that you want to improve on? Just from watching VODs, I think there were some... We lack on making good plays in the laning phase, so I think that's something that we can work on the most. So it's so team fight and macro play is something that we can look forward to Brion making an improvement on. And Pobe, with the swap in Game 2, you stepped foot on the LCK stage for the first time. Please introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Pobe, mid laner for the OK Savings Bank Brion.
선수분들 다 잘 챙겨주셔서 편하게 게임할 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
I think I was able to play really comfortably due to my teammates taking such good care of me. So Pobe, you actually have the same name as Chovy. What kind of mid laner would you like to be? I want to do my best wherever I am. Next up, we have Envy. This was a comeback season for Envy. How was the spring season for you? Yeah, so I have a lot of my endearing former teammates at PRX, and it was a complete loss in our last match, which makes me a little sad, but looking back, I feel like there are a lot of tough moments mentally throughout the season when we were in our losing streak. But for our next season, regardless of how hard it may be, I want to make sure that we are consistent with our plays. So anything that you'd like to say to your fans? Our fans, regardless of, despite us going on a winless round, I feel like they are always so supportive. So I'm very grateful of that, and I want to make sure that we can repay them by giving them a good performance. And effort will be next. It's been a while since we saw you as a starter. How was the spring season for you overall? As the oldest brother figure, I feel like I'm very sorry for my teammates because I wasn't able to play too well, but I think I was able to come this far thanks to my teammates. And anything you'd like to say to your fans? I'll do my best until the very end, so I hope that you'll continue supporting me. And we'll talk to Polu now. How was the second half of spring for you? I feel like in the beginning we were able to get a momentum with the 2 wins, but there are moments that we actually got a little lost, so it was an overall pretty regrettable season. And Polu, what kind of support would you like to be? I want to be a support that doesn't have any flaws and someone who can be versatile. And as the last question, Morgan, would you like to say anything to your fans? This is the end of our spring season. I want to focus on making our summer a better season for us as a team. So thank you so much for all the support. And this will be the end of the interview with the players of OK Savings Bank Brion, and back to the space.